number 3. And it says, it's got different parts. Use the frequency distribution, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what's the total? Add up everything. If I say there's blondes, brunettes, and redheads in a class, and there's 3 brunettes, 3 blondes, and 4 redheads, how many people are in the class? 10, because you add them all up. So in this case, how many? Well, let's see. 8 and 2 is 10. 8 and 2 is 10 right here, so that leaves 1 added onto that. So 25? 25 is your answer. Make sure you can add those up, because whenever you want to find the total, you add them up. The class width, what's 22 minus 14? What's 30 minus 22? What's 38 minus 30? What's 46 minus 38? What's 39 minus 31? What are those? What's the answer? Okay, I'm going to say it again. What's 30 minus 22? What's 38 minus 30? Okay, so the answer is 8. Next, the midpoint of the second class. What's 22 plus 15?
37.
37. What's half of 37? Well, half of 36 is 18. So it'd be 18 and a half. What? The class, the modal class, what shows up the most? What shows up the most? How many shows up the most? In other words, blondes, brunettes, and redheads. If there was 6 brunettes and 6 blondes and 3 redheads, then the modal would be brunettes and blondes. So which one shows up the most?
47 to 54.
And?
23 to 30.
That's it. So you go 23, 30, comma, 47 through 54. The class limits of the next class. For the next class, well, what's between 54 and 55? 54.5. Now, I don't know if they want the, what's it? Okay, okay. So what is, just do this, what is 47 plus 8? Say again. 55. And what is 54 plus 8? I'm waiting.
62.
62. That's it. Next question. Next question is, wait a minute, which one? Number 4. Okay, the data to the right represents population, blah, 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 blah. All right, first of all, let's do the class widths. So what's the class width on this distribution?
10.
Or something, what? I heard, whoa.
Is it 10 or 9?
I heard, Say it one more time.
10.
I heard somebody, I believe somebody answered it, but they grunted.
1.
Thank you. 1. Why? Well, what's 11 minus 10? What's 11.9 minus 10.9? 1. Class width is 1. I don't understand why y'all are hanging up on that. I couldn't hear you. All I heard was 10. I heard 10, 10, and So my class width is equal to 1. So therefore, What's 7 plus 1? What's 8 plus 1? What's 11 plus 1? What's 12 plus 1?
13.
What's 7.9 plus 1? 8.9 plus 1? 11.9 plus 1? Now you got to put these in order and count how many. I'm not doing that. So y'all write quick. Y'all see how many is between 7. Y'all write those down. Put them in order. And I'll wait for y'all to count them up. That's one problem I can't stand to do. Is unless I have a spreadsheet, I don't even try because it's a pain. So I'm gonna blow it up for you, so y'all won't complain.
They're actually in order.
Are they?
Backwards, yeah.
Okay, well good. That should be easy then. I'm gonna blow it up either way. I'm not gonna blow it up because that'll mess this up. So 7 to 7.9 looks like 6. So you'll put a 6 here. 8 to 8.9. 4. 9 to 9.9. 1. 10 to 10.9. 2. 11 to 11.9. 2. 12 to 12.9. 3. And 2. And it's not letting me check the answer. Oh, I'm not going to fill all that in. So anyway, is that everything? That's everything. Both of those are 2 good test questions. Capiche? That was 12.2. Did we finish 12.2? Somebody that takes good notes, tell me. Or did we got more to do on 12.2? Let me just look at the note. I can't remember.
More.
Did we we didn't get a black screen at the end, so.
No.
Okay, 12.2 and 12.3. 12.2 and 12.3. So what was the last one we did in 12.2? Everybody remember what the last one we did?
We didn't do that.
Okay.
You have it, trigonometry.
Oh, this is trig. I was fixing to say. Thank you. I'm doing the wrong book. Sorry. I thought I was in y'all's class. 155. Oh, that was nice. That was really nice. 12.1. No, 12.2 and 12.3. 12.2
Not sure the picture.
and 12.3. Really?
You are teaching.
You're going to split hairs. Okay. So we got, let's see, width. We done went through width. Let's see, I think we got to about right here. I don't remember this one. I think we were going on to, did I do this one? No, we were on this one. Somebody tell me, what's the last thing that was written in your notes? Got that one?
The one that had things.
This one?
Right. Okay. I see that. I think it's about 18. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
That's 17.
I think we skipped that one.
That one?
Yeah. We've done all that, and then you should have had to do the graph on the Excel.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I showed you how to do that. What? What? I'm sorry.
See what happens when I don't talk.
Yeah, you do good when you're asked. That's just when you're talking between. That's the problem. I said you do good when somebody asks you a question. All right, frequency polygons, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to, I mean, I'll test you on this, but you should be able to do a frequency polygon. I'm trying to get to it. There you go. That's the frequency polygon. I think this is where I left off. And you can go to your Excel spreadsheet, and I'm just going to show you this right quick. And you can do it in your calculator too, and I'll show you how to do that. Let me go ahead and show you how to do both of them. So that way everybody will know. Here's your calculator. You're going to use the same thing I use if you have a TI 83, 84, 85, 86. You hit Stat. You hit Edit. And you put in the numbers. I'm just going to put in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then you put in the numbers for Y. I'm going to put in 1, 3, 7, 8, 2, and 1. Everybody with me? Make sure you can go to Stat and Edit. Stat and Edit is saying, let's put it in the columns. That's basically you're putting it in an Excel spreadsheet. All right, now listen. To do a statistical plot, you have to hit second and Y is equal. And you come to this one, and then you hit Enter, and you hit On, and then you pick out the one you want. That's a dot plot. That's a polygon. Since it asked you for a polygon, which is you connect the dots, I'm going to hit that one. It automatically reads the first column and the second column. All you have to hit is graph. Now, do you have all of it on there? No. So you type in zoom, and you go down until you see zoom stat, number 9. We're going to do another one here in a second. There is your dot plot. You didn't connect the dots. Hold on. Stat, or second, Y is equal. Plot. Oh, I didn't hit enter. Now hit enter. There. And go down 1, 1, and hit graph. There we go. Now make sure you can graph in your calculator, unless you want to use your Google sheet or your Excel spreadsheet, whichever. I'll show you how to use that next. Let's do one more. So Stat, Edit, and I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say 2, 6, 8, 12, 1, 0. And now I'm going to hit second, Y is equal, enter, and I'm going to do a dot plot this time. I'm going to hit the dot plot, that first one right there, and I'm going to hit graph. And there it is. Now, you don't see it all, so you hit zoom and 9 for statistic. There it is. It still didn't do it. So I'm going to hit second. I did do a dot plot. Okay. And there's your dot plot. So that type of question, I might ask you that type of question to give me a polygon or a line graph. All you need to do is do it on your calculator. You don't have to do anything else. Capiche? Now, how do you do the Excel spreadsheet? Pull up Excel, or what do y'all call it on y'all's Google Sheets? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 7, 2, 1. Oops, wrong need. Highlight it. Go to Insert. And click on that one right there. It looks like dots. And you can click on the arrow and you can pick a dot plot, or you can pick a line, or you can pick a polygon. Since it asks for a polygon, there's a polygon. So you should be able to do it on both. And now you got it on the video, so you can follow up with the video for one person that's going to do it, and rewind however you need to. So you're talking about a couple of test questions. One, a dot plot. The second one, a histogram. I'm not going to hit you up on... Now, what is a stem and leaf? The only reason I'm showing you this one is because it could be a standardized test question. First thing you do is put your numbers in what? Order. Then you look for the lowest number, and you work with the lowest number and the highest number. Now there's two kinds of plots you can do with this. I want you to write both of them down. One of them is called a dot plot. The other one is called a stem and leaf plot. Stem and leaf is with numbers. What do you think a dot plot is with? Dots. Okay, both of them are based on your lowest number. What is our lowest number? 29, isn't it?
27.
27, 28. I see a 20, okay, 28. So I'm going to put a 10 here, a 20 here, a 30 here. What's our highest number?
72.
Of course, because I can't. There. 60 and 70.
72.
Okay. So I could have an 80 on there. Let's put an 80 if it'll fit. What do you want to make sure of? You want to make sure you cover the lowest numbers and the highest number. Everybody with me? So, how many 10s do we have? None. Or you leave it blank. I'm sorry, leave it blank. How many 20s do we have? We have a 27, a 28,
3.
and a what?
29.
How many 30s do we have? We have a 31. Anything else? How many 40s do we have?
3.
How many would 43? What else? 2 44s? What else?
I think there's 6.
A 45? A 47? Y'all check me.
There's 3 30s.
I don't see a 30. I only see 131. Oh, there's a 39. Where's
And a
the
32.
I hate these things. Okay, 31 and 32, so a 32 and a what?
39.
Thank you, Miss Woodward. About 50. What? Was that you? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
What's next? 50?
4.
54, 50. There's a 0. What'd you say, 54?
56,
56, 59, 58, 59. Y'all get the point, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, what do you do if you don't use numbers? You use what? Dot. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. How many 10s do we have? None, so it don't get no dots. How many 20s do we have? 3. How many 30s do we have? 3. How many 40s?
6.
How many 50s?
4.
You see the pattern? One's dots, one's numbers. A stem and leaf is numbers, dot is dots. You can turn them sideways if you want to. Here's a sideways dot plot. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody got it? Usually you don't do a stem and leaf sideways, and you can also see that it's starting to look like a curve. If you kind of draw it, start to see here that it's a little bit of a curve. Okay? Okay? That's all right. As long as it's not a boyfriend fixing to hit her upside the head with a bat, or that's fine. Who the hell are you talking to? I'll never forget that day. Everybody, you ever seen the movie SpongeBob goes to Shell City? And you remember when the little hamburger car goes over the cliff and it gets eaten by this big gigantic worm, and SpongeBob and Patrick are sitting there going, no. That's what everybody in the class. I had 30 people in that class, and that boyfriend said, "Who the hell are you talking to?" And then it was a poof, 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 poof. I don't know if he was beating on her or if he was turning the computer off or whatever. And I looked at the class and they were like, I'm telling you, those indicators, you got to watch them. I need to write a book. Book will be called, you know what I'd call the book? When to Run. That's what it would be called. And it would be a female book. It would be for females. There might be one section about, for males. But it'd be like 20 chapters, 25 indicators of when a girl should run like hell away. I have a lot of people. I need to write that book. I've been saying I'm going to write that book for 10 years.
I might read it, but they won't listen to it.
Yeah, they ain't going to listen to it. There you go. There's a stem. There it is.
The best thing that ever happened to them.
What?
I said they won't listen because they love them with all their heart. It's the best thing that ever
and it's
happened.
usually the worst ones.
Yeah.
That's what's so bad. It's
like,
usually the best.
It's
usually the best female that was the sorriest male. That's the way it usually goes.
That is so true.
Every once in a while you get a crappy female, but usually they wear too much makeup. All right. What'd you say? Tell me I'm not right there. All right. What does this say? Well, it's already done for you. Well, then what do you got to do? Well, I'm going to give you a number, and you tell me how many jugglers there are. So if I give you 100, N is equal to 100 clowns. I hate clowns. Let's not use clowns. Okay, acts. If there's 100 acts at the circus, how many acts are juggling acts? 14, because 14 over 100 is what? 14. Okay? I'm sorry. 14% is 14 over 100, so there's 14 acts here. And there's 5 acts here, 38 acts here, 17 acrobatic acts. What if I gave you 1,200? 1,200 acts at the circus. Then how many are juggling acts? You would take 1,200 and multiply by what? 0.14.
0.14.
Okay, acrobats, you would do 1,200 times what? 0.17. So, what should you make sure you can do? This is a standardized test question. They will always give you n is equal to a number. And then they will say, how many are Tiger Acts? Usually it's a budget. Let's mark this out. 38% is apartment / utilities. 5% is cell phone. Take that out, and let's say that's food. Insurance. And this is groceries. Or you can change. I don't need anybody to tell me what it should be. I'm not going to. And let's say you make $1,200 a month. Then how much is going into apartment and utilities? That would be 1,200 times what?
0.38.
And that's how you should read a pie chart. Make sure you know how to read a pie chart. They'll probably give us a question here in just a second. Nope, they didn't. Okay, here we go. What did they give us a question? Okay, 800. Okay, they're giving us 800. Was there a question there? Here we go. 800 people who attended a Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus were asked to indicate their favorite performance. 800 people were asked. So, with 800 asking, how many liked jugglers? Somebody take 800 and multiply by 0.14. And then we'll do tigers. I'm not doing all of them. Tigers would be 800 times what? 0.38. So somebody give me the jugglers. How much would that be?
112.
And how many would be tigers?
304.
304. And you should be able to do all that. And what should your total be? When you add up all your totals, it should equal what? When you add up all these over here, you should equal 800 when that's a check to make sure you did everything right. So now you got three. You got a bar chart, a polygon, a dot plot, and a circle graph or a pie graph. Those are three. You took the placement test. Both of y'all took it, right?
I did, yeah.
Didn't you take it? Did one of these were on there? Were one of these on there? Okay. Going to sleep. You look like you're about to go out. There it is. So here's your answers. I think we did 112 and 304. Oh my Lord. Okay, that's that. That's 12.2. .3. Well, I've lost my, there we go. Something's going on with this computer. Should keep spinning. What's up with that? Okay, we'll just sit here and. Okay. .3. Okay, this is the section that you're going to be tested on the most. Measures of central tendency. This is where you get your mean, median, mode, range, mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. Now, most of you know how to do 80% of that. Okay? Most of you know how to find the mean, median, range, mid-range, mode. But when I get to the variance and standard deviation, kind of kind of freak out on me, all right? And that's normal because most people don't know how to do that anyway. So, what do we learn first? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and write everything on the board for you. What is the mean? The mean is the average, exactly. Mean is equal to the average. The variables for the sample is x bar. The variable for the population is called mu. One's Greek, as we told you before. Greek letter is population. The regular letter x is sample. And that is, you add up all the x's and divide by how many there are. And y'all have been doing this since what, the 6th or 7th grade? Because you've all tried to figure your what at the end of the semester? Your grade. You take all your tests, you add them up and divide by 4. So most of you know how to do this. And we'll go over it to make sure. The median. When I say median, what do y'all think of right off the bat? In the highway. The median in the highway. And it's in the what?
Middle.
It's in the middle. Middle is what all of this centers around. The number one thing that you compare everything to in statistics is the middle. If n is even, you find the two middle numbers and divide by 2. Take the two middle numbers, average, and divide by 2. Okay, we're going to do this, so don't spaz out if you've never seen it before. If n is odd, you just pick the middle. Okay, so that's how you find the median. Right now, the two most important, there's 3. Mean, median, and mid-range. Those are your 3 most important. And how do you find the mid-range? The highest number plus the lowest number divided by 2. The mode's in here, but the mode is really worthless. It's the number that shows up the what? The most. Mode and most, both M with MO, which means but shows up the most. This is observed. You don't calculate this, you just what? You just look at it. I don't really care about the mode, but it's easy for y'all to answer because all you have to do is what? Look at the numbers and find out which one shows up the most. And the range is equal to the highest minus the lowest. Now we're going to learn these first because most of you don't know how to find the variance or the standard deviation. So we're going to wait and do that Wednesday. Comprende? So far? So, hopefully they'll give us some numbers here and we'll be able to go through and do it. I've already done all this. Okay, here we go. Here's a set of numbers. This is your first test question. Now get your calculators out because I'm going to ask you this. I'm not going to do it. All right, so we've got, first thing you do is put everything in order. So 21, 30, 37, 51, and 51. So n is equal to 5 because how many numbers are there? There's 5 numbers. N is equal, but make a note. N is how many test grades. Just remember, N is the test grades. How many do you have? In this case, we have 5. Now, I know nobody's making a 21 on a test. I'm just associating N with something that you have been doing for the last 6 or 7 years. After the end of the semester, you figure up your grade. Okay, so N would be how many test grades you have. Now, to find the mean, I want you to add all those up. Mean is equal to the summation of x over n. Well, that's going to be over 5. Now, somebody add all those up and tell me what you get.
190.
I'm sorry, say again?
190.
Okay, somebody take 190 and divide by 5.
38.
What is it?
38.
And that is your mean. Now, I would probably be willing to say that all of you got 38 because y'all all know how to find your test average. Okay, so now we're going to find the median. Median, how many numbers do we have? Is it odd or is it even?
Odd.
It's odd, so all you have to do is just pick the middle term. And the median is 37. Mode, I really don't care about, but in this case, it's 51. Remember, that's the only one that's observed. That's the only one that you look at. You don't calculate the mode. Range is equal to 51 minus 21, which is equal to 30. And the last one is the mid-range. And the mid-range is equal to 51 plus 21 divided by 2, which is 72 divided by 2, which is equal to 36. Now, I'm going to take my highlighter, and I'm going to highlight the 3 numbers that are important. The mean, the median, and the mid-range. What do you notice about those 3 numbers? They're all what?
They're around the same number.
They're all close, right? Mean, write this down, median and mid-range. Some people call the mid-range the midpoint. You can call it the midpoint because you might see it again later, especially in my 120 or my 103. The mean, mid-range, and median, if they're close together, that means that your data is pretty tight. What does tight mean? That means that it's not all over the place. That means that you don't have 3 or 4 unusual numbers or outliers, or everything is pretty much in one little what? Group. So if those 3 numbers are close, reasonably close, or relatively close to the numbers that you have, then your numbers are pretty tight. That means that this set of numbers is not out of wampus. And out of wampus is what your washer gets when you put too many towels in it. Or one time, that's what happens. It gets out of balance. So those numbers are not crazy numbers, because the mean, the median, and the mid-range are all very what? Close. Now, that's basically, hold on a second, I'm making sure what time it is. Yeah. That's basically 80% of 12.3. The other 20% is probably variance and standard deviation. If it's not, I'm going to put it in there anyway because some of y'all might need it in the future. Okay? So, most of your questions in 12.3 will come from this one we just did right here. I'm just going to take a minute or two and show you what the rest of it's going to show you, and it's probably going to be the other numbers. Median is in the middle. Okay, now let's do these two right quick. They're in order, I hope. All right, how many numbers are in A?
8.
8. So is 8 odd or even?
Even.
Even. So you need to highlight the two middle numbers and take the average of those two middle numbers. So that's going to be 7 and what? Are they not in order? They put the second one in order and everybody thinks first one's in order. These people, they need a life. 9, 14.
11, 2 11.
9, 11. That's why I hate these. 11. How many 11s are there? 2? 12. What's next?
14.
14. Then 16. Then 17. Y'all check.
16.
And what?
17.
And then, of course, the second one's in order. So you look at the second one and you see it's in order, so you assume the first one's in order. But no, not these people that make these slides. Ugh. Okay, so here's your middle two. So you can't have two medians. So you say 12 plus 14 divided by 2 is equal to 13. Y'all check me. Is it 36 or 26?
I thought it was 19.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, you're right. It's 13.
Okay. Now these, how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, again. So what is 8 plus 8 divided by 2? 8 plus 8 divided by 2 is 8. Now they're not always going to be the same number. So you always have to get used to doing, when n is even, you have to find the average of the middle two numbers. And the next slide will probably just be odd numbers. So I'm just going to try to show you that this section is pretty much, there's that, and there's that. The mode shows up the what? And you can have more than one mode. You can have a bimodal, you can have trimodal or polymodal, which means more than one. Okay? And I'm not going, there's the mid-range, the highest minus the what? Lowest. And then there's the plus divided by 2 is plus divided by 2. And then the range is highest minus the lowest. Okay, that's okay. We're going to talk about this when y'all come back. Okay, so the measures of position, that's halfway through 12.3. All right, y'all good? Yeah, Hubert, we're good. Okay, y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all Wednesday. You have a good day too, Hubert. All right.